Alright, guys, I'm gonna be doing a weekly watch list. I'm not gonna be trading until probably Thursday, Friday, depending on how volume is, but we do have news here on Monday. We have PMI Chicago, and then we have pending home sales at 10 a.m. I'm not really expecting too much volume just because, we're going for a shorter week. We do have a bank holiday here, New Year's holiday on Wednesday, so it's kind of like not a full week, so I'm not really expecting too much. We do have initial job claims Thursday 8:30 a.m. pre-market, and then construction spending at 10 a.m. Friday we have um ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. So it's kind of what we're looking at for this week. Like I said, I'm not really expecting too much just because it's a short week. Um and you guys already know how that goes. So let's get into the charts. So the first one I have on my list that I'm going to continue to watch is Nvidia. Um, as you see, Nvidia is here in a bull flag on the 4 hour, right, and one of those bigger pictures type of pattern on the daily, right. I do see my setup here at this 4 hour inside, right. I'd love puts. I'm not really looking on Nvidia too much puts wise. I did kind of take a trade on Friday, back testing, but like I said, everything that goes up must come down for a pullback. This is what I'm expecting on Nvidia. If we do go below 134.69, I do see us having room to 132, possibly 129 ish. So that's kind of what I see on Nvidia for upside movement. I'd want a hold above 139.06. We do have this major resistance here at 140.35. If we could manage to get above that, I do see us going for this pattern day high, which is 149, possibly 152, right? But yeah, I would want for this pattern to play out, which is a bull flag, very strong bullish pattern, right? So I don't think Nvidia would come lower than 132, but if we do, I do see this zone at 129 ish. But I do feel like this is just a pullback, like I said, to go higher. Everything that goes up must come down. So as you see here, bull flag on the 1 hour, and yeah, calls above 139.06, nice hold. If we do decide to come down below 134.69, we could see 132, like I said. So that's what I see in Nvidia. Let's move on to IWM. IWM, there's a couple scenarios with this. So it does have my inside. I see calls above 225.48, puts below 220.20. Below that, we do have a double inside day as well. We actually have a weekly inside, as you see right here, and we have a 4 hour inside. So realistically, guys, if we do go below 220.20, I do see us taking out this weekly inside bar, which is 218, and then possibly coming down to the support at 215. Let me show you guys. So as you see here, areas of strong support, areas of strong resistance right here. So like I said, if IWM could reclaim above 225.48 with the nice hold, we will see 226, possibly 230, and then aim for that weekly inside bar high of 235.66. If we cannot do that below 220.20, I want us to see a break of 218.10, breaking that weekly inside bar and coming down to this major support here on the bigger time frame, which is 215.33. So that's what I see here on IWM. Now, I do see this 15-minute fair value gap that's overlapping with this 1 hour fair value gap, right? As you see, we tried to kind of fill that, but we didn't manage to do that. So right now I'm just focused on this 15-minute fair value gap that could turn into in fair value gap. If we do gap above, right, if we open around this area, mind you, I would want to see a fair value gap form around this area for us to continue to that upside, to possibly hit 230, right? So if we do decide to invalidate that, only thing you could look out for is this 15 to 30 minute fair value gap as well. Validation of that, we could get that nice movement to the downside. So that's what I see on IWM. Next is Google. So Google has kind of the same setup as IWM. We do have a weekly inside and a 4-hour inside. So realistically, we're bouncing off this 1 hour fair value gap, as you see. Had a nice little bounce. If I were to take puts, I'd take puts below 190.68, which then invalidates this 1 hour fair value gap, meaning there's bears there, and I would want to possibly target, obviously not 185 all the way, but probably previous lows around here, probably to the end of this fair value gap, which is 188, and then we could kind of start focusing down here. We do have a magnet down below over here, so we could possibly start to, attract to this gap right here. But if we do decide to bounce, right, have a little bit of a gap up, I see calls above 195.33, and I'd go for that weekly inside high. Priority TP would be 198.83, right? And then you could kind of start seeing that weekly inside high TP. So that's what I see on Google, my setup. Then we have Qs. Now let me show you Qs. Qs is in this 4-hour inside bar. I see calls above 526.44. I see puts below 517.86. Now, QQQ does have this 30-minute fair value gap that we do need to watch out for. It's also in a weekly inside bar as well. Let me show you guys. Here is the weekly inside bar I'm talking about. Here is the 4-hour inside. So, ultimate, right, like I said, we did have a gap down. About like a $3 gap down or less. So main priority TP here above for calls would be 526.44 with a TP of 529.50, which is gap fill, and then possibly start seeing that weekly inside high. For puts, right below 517.86, I'd want to see us invalidate this 30-minute fair value gap, kind of create an intraday fair value gap aligning with that, to possibly push us down to this weekly inside low, which is 509.36. But overall, guys, I don't really expect too much out of this week just because it's a short week. If you are going to trade, like I said, trade light, manage your risk, and yeah. I also do have this Amazon weekly and 4-hour inside. As you see here, we have this weekly inside. Then if we go to the 4-hour, we have this 4-hour inside. I see puts below 220.92. Target weekly inside low, which is 218.77. And then we have this magnet below. I expect this to come down and possibly bounce from here or possibly gap fill. So TPs would be 217, 215 to the downside. For calls, I do see if we could hold above 226.05, we could start possibly going for that weekly inside high. Main priority TPs would be 228, 230, and then 232. So yeah, guys, like I said, if you're gonna trade, be very careful. Don't like I said, don't expect too much just because it's a half of a week. And yeah, guys, Yuli Trades is out.